Terrifier 3. Hey guys, if you love watching films and you want to know if a film is decent or not, then check this review out and let me help you to make your mind up. Art the Clown returns in his most terrifying incarnation yet in Terrifier 3, and director Damien Leone has outdone himself with this blood-soaked masterpiece. This film delivers a true visceral and unforgettable experience, you have been warned. So Art the Clown, played by David Howard Thornton, unleashes more depraved and macabre chaos on the unsuspecting residents of Miles County as they peacefully drift off to sleep on Christmas Eve. 5 years after surviving Art the Clown's Halloween massacre, Sienna and Jonathan are still struggling to rebuild their shattered lives. As the holiday season approaches, they try to embrace the Christmas spirit and leave the horrors of the past behind. But just when they think they're safe, Art returns, determined to turn their holiday cheer into a new nightmare. The festive season quickly unravels as Art unleashes his twisted brand of terror, proving that no holiday is safe. Now, if scary movies aren't your thing, then the chances are that you're likely going to hate this blood-soaked piece of crazy cinema, and you might be better off swerving this violent addition. But on the other hand, if you're a fan of traditional slasher flicks with creative kills, moments where you want to puke into your hand, and well, some satisfying performances, then this might just become your favourite one so far, as the gore fest is severely ramped up for this crazy film. The practical effects on display are a masterclass of grotesque horror. Now, after watching the first two films, I was excited to see the sequel, and this Terrifier edition is fascinating, and the franchise is just great in that all films have introduced a memorable villain into our lives, and this film only enhances Art's reputation as having a sadistic penchant for just downright grisly and sometimes uncalled for nonsensical violence. This one is a slasher movie not broken down to its bare essentials, but it just goes ahead and showers its viewers with unrelenting violence on an almost unprecedented scale and without remorse. I would say that Terrifier 3 gave about 10 minutes of a basic backstory before the curtain come down, and when it started entertaining its viewers with more graphic violence than one can handle in one sitting, and then it went back for some more. Look, I'm a Terrifier fan per se, but this one, Terrifier 3, is a real special cookie. Damien Leone struck gold with Art the Clown. I have so much respect for him, as he has created Art as a mesmeric and scary as hell horror character. His wave and his presence is just hypnotic. Art the Clown is a character who has become a modern icon in the horror genre and should be mentioned in the company of the greats from Freddy, Jason, Myers and so forth. There are moments in it where you will crack up at the bizarre nature of what you're seeing. I personally have not laughed at anything like the bloody antics that Art gets up to. Art the Clown's deviant and mischievous ridiculousness will make you smile in many ways, as it is just so over the top, so warped and demented. I mean, he does batshit macabre stuff that the kills become somewhat surreal and even more gruesome as time goes on, and all at the same time. And I suppose that is the allure for many Art fans, in that you know exactly what you're going to get once Art starts to flex. Oh, and when he does, expect to see a good smattering of every bodily secretion that pours, drips and flows and splatters throughout this slashing nirvana for those that dig this kind of gig. I would say Art has got to be one of the most special horror character villains ever, because he's as scary as hell, he's demented, he's funny, and that is no mean feat, and it is very, very hard to do. He's the latest and best slasher villain, no questions asked, and I must say that the Terrifier franchise will go down as one of the horror's greatest, as the fan base seems to grow day by day from what I'm hearing. I remember almost gagging when I saw the rat tube scene, and similarly it also made Art the Clown actor David Howard Thornton nauseous, and it was said that he had to desperately prevent himself from throwing up when he was filming that scene. That was just horrific. This one has got so many scenes such as that, with more gore, more thrills, and more Art the goddamn sadistic clown in his true glorious fashion. The gore effects are top tier. The minimal use of CGI, the franchise, the crazy scenes, the mixture of crazy and gruesome kills with Art acting like a bloody goofball will leave you shocked and disturbed. And yet it is unmissable filmmaking, just right when watching a movie of this calibre. In fact, it wasted no time getting to business within the first 10 minutes, and I saw a few punters even walking out of the cinema. Such was the shocking depravity that was on display. But hey, come on folks, what did you expect from an Art the Clown film? Sunshine and roses, fluffy bunnies galloping across the cinema floor, little violins being played? Come on lads, this was always going to be a film that was going to make you cough your own kidneys up just from the opening credits, let alone the sadistic killings that are inflicted on the cast of this film. It was always going to end in tears, so no need to sign up if you've done your due diligence in the first place. Look, I was hoping Terrifier 3 would be as good as the first two, and it turns out that Terrifier 3 is better than its predecessors. There was one scene when he started to chainsaw a guy from his nether regions all the way to his head. And I remember I was squirming around in my seat at the cinema, but also noticed that several others were also doing the same as me. And it just was a tangible connection that Art could induce with his audience. I mean, I felt every blade and painful scream from his hapless victim when Art started to eviscerate him into a bloody and blobby mess on the floor. Good skills, Art. You really got me there, you sick mother father. This film is truly not for those who do not like gore. Yes, the eye-watering gore will not suit all tastes, as this is a most disgusting and brutal Terrifier film. Yet, it does deliver in doing exactly what it says on the tin, and I have no regrets in watching it and savouring yet another masterclass from our boy Art. This film will leave some gasping for breath and reaching for vomit bags, and some scenes are only ever watchable once. You sicko if you've watched it more than once. They're just too grisly for any more viewings. There's even more blood and guts in Terrifier 3 than in the past two films, so tread carefully my fellow film aficionado. The dark humour, the crazy and deplorable creative kills continue in part 3, and you will see Art mimicking himself quite frequently, and that is a new twist, as he does it more in this one than he seems to, and he's a bit more self-aware and even appreciative rather than when he was just casually and organically funny, but as casual as you can be when you're slicing someone's brains out or gutting them like a fish. This one really had great shock value. Now, when making Terrifier 1 and 2, the director Damien Leone stated in interviews that the crew consisted of around 10 people, depending on the day and which crew members were working. They were working every position possible to make this film work. But for Terrifier 3, he said there were dozens of people on set every single day, with dedicated crew departments. Such was the extra effort put in to making this one special. If you're a true horror fan and you love slasher films, then I know that you will have an extremely fun time watching Terrifier 3 for all its gore, its violence, but also another fine performance from Art, the horror genius that has shaped the horror genre in a great way moving forward, as Art the Clown has instantly been cemented into the pantheon of horror legends. This is a gory third helping for fans who have a staunch and strong stomach for such a bloody flick, and trust me, my film loving champions, you would not be disappointed, as this one packs a bloody punch for everyone. Watch it and let me know what you think, but you will not be disappointed. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the review. Don't forget to share this video with someone who's also sick like you. But listen, join me for the next one. I'm off to get a cup of tea and also to lie down after that review. I'll see you back in a bit. Cheers.